Welcome to Tales by WZ. Today's story is about a man who calls off his wedding the moment his fiancée calls his parents low-class trash. As you listen, think about where your own breaking point would be if someone disrespected your family like that. My fiancée said, "Your parents are trash." I replied, "Then we're done." Then I canceled our wedding, pulled back a $5,000 cruise gift to her parents, walked out with my family, and just watched as her entitled world started crumbling around her. I am 32, and 3 days ago I had the family dinner from hell. I have been with my fiancée, 30, for 2 years. Engaged for 6 months, wedding planned for next spring. Up until wedding planning started, things were mostly fine. Then money and image got involved and a different side of her came out. My parents are blue-collar. My dad is a mechanic who owns his own shop. My mom was a teacher and just retired. They live modestly. House is paid off, they saved carefully, they are not rich, but they are comfortable. They are good people who helped me with community college before I transferred to finish my engineering degree. Now, I work as a project manager and make around $110,000 a year. Her parents are different. Her dad is a regional vice president at a pharmaceutical company. Her mom has not worked in 20 years. They live in a big house in the suburbs, belong to a country club, all of that. A bit pretentious at times, but I thought it was manageable. The dinner was supposed to be a nice evening. Both families at a good Italian restaurant downtown talking about the wedding and the rehearsal dinner. At first it was normal. Menus, small talk, a few jokes. Then her mom brought up the rehearsal dinner. "We were thinking the country club," she said. "Very elegant. The East Ballroom has those gorgeous windows." My mom smiled. "That sounds lovely. What does something like that cost?" Her mom said, "Around 15,000, but it is worth it for the ambience." My dad almost choked on his water. 15,000 for one dinner. Her dad jumped in. "It is not just dinner, it is an experience. You want the wedding to be memorable." My dad said, "I am sure it will be memorable at half that price." The table went quiet. You could feel the line being drawn. When people start talking more about status than about people, that is usually the first red flag. My fiancée leaned forward. "We discussed this," she said to me. "The rehearsal dinner is traditionally the groom's family's responsibility, right?" "We budgeted 5,000, I said. "That is already generous for one dinner." Her mom said, 5,000 for 70 guests. "Oh dear, we can make it work. There are some smaller venues that are still nice." My fiancée cut her off. "No offense," she said, "but we cannot have the rehearsal dinner at some budget venue. Our friends will be there, my colleagues. This is important." My dad said, "Budget venue. We are talking about nice restaurants and proper places, not folding chairs in a parking lot." Her dad said, "Perhaps you do not understand the social expectations here. This is not a backyard barbecue." I saw my dad's jaw clench. My mom tried to calm things down. "We are happy to contribute what we can," she said. "Maybe we could split the cost." My fiancée rolled her eyes. "Split it? No, that is not how this works. The groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner. That is tradition." "Traditionally," my dad said, "it is a reasonable dinner, not a down payment on a car." Her mom leaned toward her husband but spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "I told you this would be difficult. Different classes have different standards." My mom's face went red, not from anger, from hurt. That is when my fiancée said it. "Maybe if some people had not spent their lives in low-class jobs, they would understand how proper weddings work," she said. "But I guess we cannot expect trash to understand elegance." Low-class trash. She called my parents low-class trash in front of everyone. The whole table froze. My mom looked like she had been slapped. My dad stared at his plate, hands shaking slightly. I said one word, "Interesting." My fiancée did not even seem to hear herself. She kept talking. "I mean, it is just reality," she said. "We are from different worlds. They need to accept that." This was the moment the mask slipped. When stress hits and people stop pretending, you get to see what they really believe. I took out my phone, opened my banking app, and pulled up a pending check. 2 weeks earlier, I had written a $5,000 check as an anniversary cruise gift for her parents. She had asked me to cover it because they have done so much for us. I tapped stop payment and confirmed it. Interesting, I said again. Her dad looked over. What is interesting? Just handling some banking, I said. Anyway, about the rehearsal dinner, there will not be one, the wedding is off. You could have heard a pin drop. My fiancé stared at me. What are you talking about? The wedding is cancelled, I said. We are done. I am not marrying someone who calls my parents trash. I did not, she said quickly. I was just making a point. You made your point, I said. Now I am making mine. I put enough cash on the table to cover my parents' meals and mine. Then I looked at her parents. Oh, and that cruise gift I was covering, I said. The check I gave you is cancelled. You can pay for your own vacation. Her mom's eyes widened. You what? The $5,000 check, I said, stopped payment. Then I stood up and walked out with my parents. Sometimes the calmest decision is the strongest one. I did not go back to the apartment I shared with my fiancé. I stayed at my parents' place. She called dozens of times. She sent walls of text. I did not answer. The next morning, my parents kept asking if I was sure. Maybe she was just stressed, my mom said. Wedding planning is hard. Mom, I said, she called you trash. Well, she was frustrated, my mom said softly. This is why I love her, but also why people sometimes walk over her. She tries to see the best in everyone. My dad was quieter. Later, I saw him at the computer, searching how to cancel wedding venues. That hurt and helped at the same time. Day 2, the wedding venue called. Someone had tried to cancel using my name. It was not me, but I told them I did want to cancel. I accepted the hit on the deposit. $2,500 gone. It stung, but staying in that engagement would have cost me more than money. Not long after, I got an email from my fiancé. Subject line, we need to talk about this maturely. It was 12 paragraphs about our future, about misunderstandings, about how she did not mean it that way, and how stress made her say things she did not mean. Not once did she say, I was wrong or I am sorry. I replied with one line, you meant every word, we are done. Day 3, her mother came to my office. Security called to say someone was in the lobby asking for me and refusing to leave. I went down and found her with mascara running. How could you do this? She said. Do you know how humiliated we are? More or less humiliated than my parents felt when your daughter called them trash, I asked. She apologized, she said. She sent you an email. She sent me a 12-paragraph essay without an apology, I said. Did she apologize to them? Silence. The cruise was non-refundable, she said finally. We lost deposits. Our account is overdrawn because we counted on that check. Sounds like a planning problem, I said. Not my problem. You said you would pay for it, she snapped. I said that before your daughter showed her true colors, I said. Do not count money as yours until the check clears. Lesson learned. This is financial abuse, she said. I will sue you. For what? I asked. I never signed anything. It was a gift. Gifts can be revoked. Talk to your lawyer. Security escorted her out. My boss pulled me aside, checked I was okay. I gave him the short version. He shook his head. Nobody gets to insult your parents, he said. Day 4 was the ring. The engagement ring had belonged to my grandmother. Vintage from the 1950s. Not the most expensive ring in the world, worth about $4,000, but priceless to us. I got a text from my fiancé's sister. She said my ex would be out of the apartment between 10 and 2 on Saturday and that I could come get my things. I showed up with my dad and my best friend. I used my key. She was not gone. She was there with her mom, her sister, and 2 friends I did not know. I thought you would be out, I said. I changed my mind, she said. We are going to talk about this. There is nothing to talk about, I said. I am here for my stuff. I started packing my clothes, books, console, tools, documents. Her mom said, what about the ring? What about it? I asked. It is hers, her mom said. You gave it to her. It was a conditional gift, I said, based on marriage. No marriage, I get the ring back. That is how it works in most places. I looked straight at my ex. Where is the ring? She crossed her arms. Safe, she said. Maybe I will keep it. Consider it compensation for emotional distress. My dad stepped forward. His voice was calm but firm. That ring belonged to my mother, he said. You give it back, her mom said, or what? You will take her to small claims court. She actually had a point about the difficulty. I did not have formal proof of conditions. Fine, I said. Keep the ring. I will see you in court. You are bluffing, my ex said. Try me, I said. It will cost me more in legal fees than the ring is worth, but I will do it. I have savings. Do you? Her face flushed. Her sister sighed. Just give him the ring, her sister said. This is stupid. Her mom snapped. Do not you dare. He owes us. My dad said, he owes you nothing. Your daughter disrespected us in public. He canceled a gift. You are not entitled to his money. Standoff. Then my ex stomped to the bedroom. She came back, threw the ring at me. I caught it. Hope you are happy, she said. Happier than I would be married to you, I said. We finished packing my things. In the car, my dad said, I am proud of you. That landed deeper than anything else. The next problem was the lease. We had both signed it. 2-bedroom apartment, $1,800 a month. We had been splitting it evenly. She texted me. You need to keep paying your half until the lease ends, she wrote. You are on the lease. You are legally obligated. Technically, she was right. But legal obligation cuts both ways. I talked to a lawyer friend. He confirmed that if both names are on the lease, both of us are liable, but both also have equal right to live there. You could move back in if you wanted, he said. I did not want to, but it gave me an option. You are right, I texted her. I am on the lease, which means I have every right to come to the apartment whenever I want. I will start dropping by daily to check on my place. That is harassment, she replied. No, I said. That is me accessing my legal residence, unless you want to work out a deal where you pay me to leave the lease. The next day, she offered to take over the full rent if I signed off. I told her to pay me $3,600 up front, 4 months of my half, and I would sign a release. She said that was extortion. Then I will see you tomorrow, I said, and the next day. On day 7, she paid. I signed. Sometimes calm leverage speaks louder than yelling. Next came the wedding deposits. We had put deposits on a photographer, caterer, DJ, and florist. Total deposits around $9,800. We had opened a joint account for wedding expenses. We both put money in. Most of the deposits were non-refundable. She sent me a spreadsheet. Here is your half of the lost deposits, she wrote, $4,900, Venmo me. No, I replied. We both canceled the wedding, she wrote. You caused the cancellation, I said. You pay the consequences. That is not fair, she wrote. Neither is calling my parents low-class trash, I said. She threatened to sue. My lawyer friend said she would likely lose. Judges do not usually force someone to pay to marry into a family that insults their parents to their face. Meanwhile, our friend group began to pick sides. We had about 8 couples we saw regularly. Some were her friends, some mine, some mutual. She told everyone that I had overreacted to a stressful moment and abandoned her over nothing. Most of them reached out to hear my side. I kept it simple. She called my parents low-class trash, I said. I ended it. 6 of the 8 couples sided with me. 2 took her side. They were her college friends who had always seemed to care a lot about status. One of her longer-term friends, a woman who had known her for years, messaged me. I am not surprised, she wrote. She said similar things about my husband's family when he would not pay for her birthday trip. She has a pattern. That made me feel like I was not crazy. Day 8, she came to my parents' house. My mom answered the door. She said she was there to apologize. My mom, being my mom, let her in. I came downstairs and found her sitting in our living room crying. I am so sorry, she said. What I said was terrible. I was stressed and I took it out on you. I am so sorry. My mom looked at me hopeful. Do not apologize to me, I said. Apologize to them, she blinked. What? You called them trash, I said. Apologize to them. She turned to my parents. I am sorry if I offended you, she said. If, my dad repeated. You called us low-class trash. Either you believe that or you do not. Which is it? I do not, she said quickly. I was just frustrated. So when you are frustrated, you insult people's livelihoods and call them trash, he asked. No, she started. That is who you are under pressure, he said. We know now, thank you for showing us before the wedding. She turned back to me. See, they will not accept my apology, she said. You are being unreasonable. It was not an apology, it was damage control. Get out, I said. You drove an hour to stand here and say sorry if I offended you. That is not enough. She left in tears. My mom looked torn. My dad said nothing, but he squeezed my shoulder. Later, my lawyer friend helped me close the joint wedding account. The final balance was $8,200. I had contributed $6,000. She had put in $2,200. Legally, we both had equal rights to the account. Morally, I did not want to walk away from money I had clearly put in. I withdrew my $6,000 and left her with her $2,200. She lost it and threatened more legal action. My friend said a court would probably side with the one who could show the deposit history, especially given the context. She backed down. On day 10, her father finally called. Can we meet? He asked. Man to man. We met at a coffee shop. He looked tired. This has gotten out of hand, he said. My daughter is a mess. My wife is furious. You humiliated us. Your daughter humiliated my parents, I said, in public. She apologized, he said. She said sorry if I offended you, I said. That is not the same thing. We all say things we do not mean when we are stressed, he said. We come from different backgrounds. That creates tension. I do not care about backgrounds, I said. I care about respect. Do you think my parents are low-class trash? No, he said. Of course not. Does your wife? I asked. He did not answer. That is what I thought, I said. I am not marrying into a family that looks down on mine. What about the money? He asked. The cruise, the rent, the account. You cost us more than $15,000. I did not cost you anything, I said. Your daughter cost herself a marriage. Your wife cost herself a free cruise. Those are consequences. He called it vindictive. I called it self-respect. 3 weeks later, things settled. Her extended family, some of her coworkers, and a few random acquaintances sent me messages about ruining her life and overreacting. I responded the same way every time. She called my parents low-class trash at a family dinner, I wrote. If you think that is acceptable, we have nothing to talk about. Most stopped messaging after that. A few tried the everyone makes mistakes angle. I asked if they would marry someone who said that about their parents. None of them answered. Her mother tried one last time to get reimbursement for the cruise through a lawyer friend. My lawyer friend responded with a short note about gifts not being contracts and no legal claim. We never heard back. She moved out of the apartment at the end of the month and had to get a smaller place with a roommate. She is bitter about downgrading. That is not my concern anymore. The ring is back in my family. I gave it to my mom to keep. Maybe someday I will pass it to someone who actually respects her. Financially, I lost around $5,500 in deposits and a few thousand more in other costs. But I got my contributions back from the joint account and $3,600 for the lease buyout. Net loss, maybe $2,000. Emotionally, I lost the version of the future I thought I had. Kids, a house, growing old together. Some nights I miss the good version of her, the one who laughed at my jokes and made breakfast on Sundays. Then I picture my mom's face at that table. I remember those words. Low-class trash. And I know I made the right choice. I started seeing a therapist, not because I am broken, but because I want to understand why I brushed off earlier red flags. Little comments she made about people like that. Times she seemed embarrassed by my parents' simple clothes or my dad's grease-stained hands. My therapist said stress does not create character. It reveals it. A lot of people hide who they are until they feel secure. Then the mask slips. Usually after the wedding. I was lucky. The mask slipped before. Now I live in a small studio closer to work. It is not fancy. It is mine. There are no eggshells. No wondering what she really thinks of where I come from. My parents are more relaxed. My dad is teaching me more about cars. My mom stopped pretending she liked my ex. We had dinner on their back deck recently. We did not mention her once. We talked about sports, the weather, and my mom's garden. It felt right. Dating can wait. Right now, I am just remembering what I actually enjoy. Turns out I like dive bars, greasy diners, and baseball games more than wine tastings and art openings. That is okay. My life does not have to impress anyone at a country club. Here is what I took away from all of this. Lesson 1. You cannot build a healthy marriage with someone who does not respect your family. Tolerance is not enough. There has to be real respect. Lesson 2. When someone shows you how they see you and your people under stress, believe them. That is who they are when the mask drops. Lesson 3. Money choices are not just about dollars. They are about what you are willing to reward. You do not have to keep funding people who insult you. Lesson 4. A real apology is, I was wrong, I am sorry, and I will change. Sorry if you were offended is not an apology. It is damage control. Lesson 5. Walking away from a disrespectful partner is not being vindictive. It is protecting your future self and your family. Lesson 6. Losing some deposits and canceling plans hurts in the short term, but it is nothing compared to a lifetime with someone who quietly looks down on you. What about you? If your partner called your parents low-class trash at a family dinner, would you stay and try to fix it, or would that be your line in the sand? And have you ever ignored small comments about your background until they turned into something you could not overlook anymore?